I shot my father in the leg that night, not to kill him, but to make him feel the weight of every lie he'd pinned on me, like the time he framed me for his embezzlement and watched me rot in juvie while he toasted champagne with the stolen Cass. The blood pooled on our Kentucky trailer floor, mixing with the stale beer he'd spilled, mocking my fresh army buzz cut, calling me boot camp's biggest joke, but deep down, I knew this was just the appetizer to the real feast of reckoning I'd been marinating for years. And as he screamed, clutching his knee like it was the family honor he'd never had, I whispered the secret he'd buried under my name. The Purple Heart's coming, Dad. But yours? It's already bleeding out. The fluorescent buzz of the emergency room in Louisville General was like a swarm of angry hornets trapped in my skull, but it couldn't drown out the echo of that gunshot. One pop. Clean and deliberate. From the .38 I'd kept hidden in my duffel since basic training. Dad's howls had turned to whimpers by the time the paramedics hauled him in on a gurney. His flannel shirt soaked crimson. His eyes, those beady, calculating eyes, locked on mine with a mix of fury and something uglier. Fear. Real fear. The kind that comes when you realize the sun you broke isn't bending anymore. I sat in the waiting room, still in my civvies, faded jeans and a hoodie that smelled like gunpowder and regret, flanked by two stone-faced MPs who'd shown up faster than the cops. Protocol, they said. Army business now, since I'd reported for duty at Fort Knox that morning. Self-defense, I told them flatly when they cuffed me lightly. More for show than anything. He came at me with a knife after I confronted him about the old lies. The knife part was bullshit. But the lies? Those were gospel truth. Etched into my rap sheet like a tattoo I never wanted. Nurse Ratchet, her name tag read Evelyn, but she had that pinched face vibe, shuffled over with a clipboard. Mr. Harlan, your father's stable. Through and through on the femur. He'll limp, but he'll walk. She eyed the MPs. Then me. Like I was the patient. You his boy. Blood, I muttered. The word tasting like rust. Doesn't make family. She nodded. The universal code for I've seen this trailer park opera before. Sheriff's on his way. You want to call someone? Mom? Lawyer?
Mom.
The ghost in the machine. She'd OD'd on pills 2 Thanksgivings ago. Right after Dad's latest business venture tanked, another Ponzi scheme he'd run out of the garage, sucking in half the Holler's retirees. I'd found her slumped over the Formica table, empty bottle of Vicodin, beside a note that read, I can't carry your weight anymore.
Tommy. His weight.
Always his. I'd buried her next to Grandma in the Baptist cemetery. Dad, too drunk at the graveside to notice the preacher skipping the till death do us part bit. No, I said to Evelyn. No one. The MPs shifted. One of them, a kid fresh out of ROTC, probably clearing his throat. Sergeant Harlan, your CO's been briefed. They're pulling strings to keep this quiet till the inquiry.
But. Damn. Sir.
Your dad. I almost laughed.
Sir.
The words still chafed, like a boot that hadn't broken in. I'd enlisted at 18, straight out of that hellhole juvie stint, trading striped pajamas for camo. Thought the army would sandblast the shame off me, turn me into something unbreakable. Turns out, it just polished the rage into a sharper edge. Dad's betrayal started long before the gun. It was in the cradle. Really. Born Tommy Harlan in '97, in a double-wide off I-64 where the Ohio River mud seeped into your dreams. Dad, Jack Harlan, self-proclaimed king of the coal country hustle, was a wiry bastard with a silver tongue and fists like hams. Mom waitress doubles at the Waffle House, He invested her tips in schemes that always ended with repo men at the door. But the big one, the gut punch that rerouted my whole damn life, hit when I was 15. It was 12. Obama in office. Fracking boom turning Kentucky inside out. Dad got tangled with some fly-by-night outfit out of Cincinnati, promising guaranteed returns on land leases for the gas rush. He sweet-talked widows, VFW vets, even the church ladies into ponying up their nest eggs. Pulled in north of $200K before the feds came knocking. Embezzlement, wire fraud, the works. But Jack Harlan didn't do time.
No.
He pinned it on me.
Me.
The kid who'd just gotten his learner's permit, acing algebra and dreaming of UK Wildcats basketball. He forged my name on the accounts, planted my prints on the ledgers, hell, even got me to sign a loan agreement for my first car, which he drove more than I did. When the suits from the AG's office raided the trailer, they found evidence in my room, a burner phone with call logs to the marks, a laptop with dummy spreadsheets. Dad played the distraught father card, tears streaming as he told the deputies, "My boy's gone astray. Influences from those video games. You know." I lawyered up with a public defender who smelled like menthols and defeat. Pleaded guilty to reduced charges, juvenile theft, accessory after the fact, because Mom begged me. Protect your father.
Tommy.
He's all we got left. 6 months in the Mountain Youth Center. A concrete womb where bigger fish taught you to swim or sink. I sank, learned to hate the mirror, and came out with a record that slammed every door. No college scholarships. No real jobs. Just the Army recruiter's glossy brochure promising, be all you can be. Dad never apologized. Met me at the gates with a backslap and a six-pack. Toughened you up, son. Now, let's get back to winning. Winning. For him. He blew the restitution money on a base boat he flipped 6 months later. Then started small cons, fake Rolexes at flea markets, pyramid sales for miracle supplements. Mom faded quieter each year, her smiles brittle as autumn leaves. I shipped out to Fort Benning in 15, the day after my 18th. Basic was hellfire, drill sergeants barking like rabid dogs. Ruck marches that turned your feet to ground beef. But it was my hell, not his. I thrived on the structure, the merit badges you earned with sweat, not sleight of hand. Made E3 quick, then sniper school, eyes like Dad's. But mine saw through bullshit. Deployed to Syria in 18, pulling Overwatch for Green Berets in the dust-choked Badlands. Saw things that haunt you, kids with AKs. Villages turned to ash. The way a man's eyes go empty when the round finds home. Wrote home in MRE scribbled letters. Careful not to say too much. Mom replied with Hallmark cards. Dad? Postcards from the track. Scrawled with proud of ya.
Boot.
Send cash if you can. I did. Once, a $500 wire after my first paycheck. He cashed it for lottery tickets. Classic Jack. The Purple Heart came in 20, during a clusterfuck ambush outside Raqqa. ISIS remnants hit our convoy with RPGs and small arms. I took shrapnel in the jaw pulling a corporal from a burning Humvee. Docs stitched me up in Lansdale. Sent me stateside with a limp and a medal. Dad's response? A voicemail. Heard you got dinged.
Tommy.
Army's way of saying you're expendable. Come home. Got a sure thing on eBay flips. I didn't go home. Extended my tour. Chased promotions like they were absolution. Made staff sergeant by 23. Running a platoon at Knox. That's when the ghosts caught up. Mom's death hit like a frag grenade. Suicide. Coroner said. But I knew better. Found her pill bottle refilled by Dad's doc buddy. The same quack who'd signed off on his workers' comp scams. At the funeral, he cornered me in the receiving line. Breath like onions and wild turkey. Your ma was weak. Son.
But you?
Your Harlan stock. Help me out with this funeral tab, $8K. Cash only. I peeled off 5 crisp hundreds, danger pay from my last rotation, and shoved them in his pocket. That's it, Dad. We're square. He laughed. That oily chuckle. Square?
Boy.
You owe me for raising your sorry ass. That night, back in my barracks bunk, I cracked open the footlocker. Inside, Mom's old Bible, yellowed photos, and a manila envelope I'd stashed since juvie. The evidence from Dad's scam, photocopies I'd swiped from the PD's file before pleading out. His real signatures, timestamps that didn't match my school schedule. A witness statement from a neighbor who'd seen him burning documents in the fire pit. I'd kept it as insurance. A cyanide capsule for the soul. But revenge isn't a light switch. It's a slow burn, fed by embers you thought were cold. I started digging, FOIA requests to the AG's office. Anonymous tips to old Marks via burner email. Turns out Dad hadn't stopped. He pivoted to crypto cons during the bull run, fleecing VFW buddies with Bitcoin mining pools that were just as Venmo. Over $50,000 gone. Widows calling it blood money. I confronted him over FaceTime that spring, screen glitching like his morals. It's over, Dad. I'm turning it in. He sneered, pixelated face twisting. You? The juvie fuck-up? They'll laugh you out of the MPs.
Besides.
What's a Purple Heart get ya? Parade float. The mockery stung worse than shrapnel. Parade, I echoed. Funny you mention that. My CO had put me up for the ceremony. Silver Star upgrade for the Raqqa op. Full dress. Arlington bound if the brass approved. But Dad didn't know. No one did. I drove home that weekend, the envelope burning a hole in my glove box. The trailer reeked of failure. Pizza boxes, unopened bills, a flat screen blaring Fox News rants. Dad was 3 sheets in, feet up, mocking my buzz cut in the mirror. Look at you, G.I. Joe. Bet they make you salute the flagpole every morning. I set the beer down slow.
Dad.
The scam.
Mom.
It ends tonight. He lunged, or I made him think he did, and the .38 sang. Now here we were, in this ER purgatory, the sheriff's cruiser idling outside like Judgment Day. Evelyn returned with coffee that tasted like regret. He wants to see you. The MPs uncuffed me. Behave, Sergeant, and I shuffled into the bay. Dad lay pale under the sheets, 4 dripping morphine dreams, leg tented in a cage. His eyes fluttered open, venomous. You little shit. I'll bury you for this. I leaned in, voice low as a suppressed round.
No, Dad.
The army buries its heroes.
You?
You're just fertilizer.
He spat. Weak.
What the fuck does that mean? I smiled. The first real one in years. Ceremonies Tuesday. Fort Knox. Full honors. You'll be there, in a wheelchair. Courtesy of Uncle Sam. Wouldn't miss it. As I turned to leave, his whisper chased me. Tommy. What did you do? What I'd done. Planted the seeds. Called in favors from the JAG office. Leaked the envelope to an investigative reporter at the Courier-Journal. Timed it perfect. Story drops Monday, right before the salute. Dad's empire of lies. Exposed. My record? Expunged. Pending review. The AG's office owed me for the tip on a bigger fish. But as the MPs led me out, past the flickering TV showing some talking head droning about woke military, a knot twisted in my gut. Was this justice? Or just the Harlan curse looping back? Mom's voice echoed. Protect your father.
Yeah, right.
Protection's a two-way street, and he'd run me over years ago. The drive back to base was a blur of headlights and heartbeats. Tuesday loomed like a guillotine for him.
Or me.
Only the crowd would decide. Dawn broke over Fort Knox like a hangover, gold-tinged and unforgiving, the Ohio River slinking away as if ashamed of what it reflected. I hadn't slept, replayed the shot in my head till it looped like a bad training vid. The MPs had cut me loose with a stern, "Don't leave the wire, Sergeant," and my CO, Major Ellis, a grizzled lifer with a prosthetic hip from Fallujah, pulled me aside at PT. "Harlan, your family's colorful. But that ceremony? It's yours. Don't let the old man steal the shine." Colorful. Army euphemism for dysfunctional as a jammed M4. Ellis didn't know the half, the embezzlement, the frame job, Mom's quiet unraveling. To him, I was the poster boy, enlisted grunt turned decorated sniper. The kid from the hollers who'd clawed his way to Silver Star contention. Hero, they called it. Bullshit. Heroes don't shoot their dads over grudges. I hit the range early, .22 plinking at silhouettes till my hand steadied. Each report a therapy session. This one's for juvie. This for Mom's pills. This for the $500 you pissed away. By noon, the Post was buzzing, whispers about Harlan civilian dust-up, the Courier-Journal's teaser headline leaking like bad intel, local vet's father in custody, family secret surface. Dad's arraignment was set for Thursday.
But the story hit like a drone strike.
Front page, grainy mug of him from the 12 bust. Sidebar on the new crypto scam. Quotes from victims, Mrs. Hargrove, 72, who'd lost her pension. Jack Harlan promised the moon. Delivered dirt. And there, buried in Para 5, son Thomas Harlan, Army Staff Sergeant, alleged self-defense shooting. Sources say juvenile record may link to father's past fraud. Link.
Cute.
Tries scapegoat. The paper had my FOIA docs. Anonymized.
Painting me as the fall guy.
Public defender's notes. Timeline discrepancies. Enough to crack the case wide. Twitter, X, whatever the hell they call it now, was a dumpster fire. Harlan betrayal trending in Kentucky feeds. Vets posting blue check rants about family over country versus expose the crooks. I scrolled in the DFAC. MRE Chili Mac going cold.
Poor kid.
Carrying dad's sins. Wait. He shot him. Over money? Lock him up. Sides forming already. Like trench lines in no man's land. Part of me, the raw, Harlan-bred part, savored it. Let 'em argue. That's the point. Afternoon brought the suit. LTC Ramirez from JAG. Crisp as a fresh crease. Badge gleaming. We met in Ellis's office. AC humming like a distant hello. "Sergeant," he started. No preamble. "Your father's cutting a deal. Pleading to the shooting, misdemeanor assault. House arrest." But the fraud? Feds want her testimony. Full immunity for the juvie beef. Immunity. The word hung sweet, like forbidden fruit. Wipe the slate. Pin the medals higher. But Dad's deal? He'd skate again. Silver-tongued snake shedding skin. And if I say no? Ramirez's eyes narrowed. Latino pragmatist meeting my appellation stubborn. Then it's messy. MP saw no knife. Your prints on the .38. Could go manslaughter if he spins it right. I leaned back, boots scuffing the linoleum. He won't. Tell him the ceremony's live-streamed. CNN sniffing, war hero versus con dad. Human interest gold. He chuckled.
Dry.
Leverage.
Huh.
You're playing 4D chess. Harlan. Learned from the best, I said, thinking of Dad's poker bluffs. By evening, the trailer was a media circus, drones buzzing, reporters staking out like vultures. I drove up, anyway, post-curfew be damned, to collect my gear. The double-wide squatted under sodium lights. Yellow tape fluttering like surrender flags. Dad's truck, the one he'd bought with my wire money, sat jacked up on blocks. Tires long gone to pawn. A deputy nodded me through.
Inside.
Chaos. Overturned furniture. Beer cans like spent casings. Mom's Bible on the floor. Spine cracked open to Proverb 17. Better a dry crust with peace and quiet than a house full of feasting. With strife. Amen.
Sister.
In the kitchen, the fridge hummed, stocked with nothing but light beer and regret. I grabbed my duffel, zipped it shut on the ghosts. Footsteps crunched gravel outside, not cops. Dad's associate, Buddy Klein, the quack doc who'd scripted Mom's end. Balding weasel in a members-only jacket, eyes darting like a ferret. Tommy, he wheedled, blocking the door. Jack's in a bad way. Needs you to drop the charges. For old times. Old times. Like the hunting trips where Dad and Buddy poached deer on BLM land, fencing the meat at truck stops. Or the time Buddy examined me post-juvie, pronouncing me fit for duty while pocketing Dad's hush money. Tell him to fuck off, I said, shouldering past. He grabbed my arm, greasy fingers digging. You don't get it.
Boy.
Jack's got dirt on you too. That Syrian tour? The clean kills? He knows a guy in intel says you popped a civvy, covered it with the platoon. My blood iced. Bullshit. Raqqa was black ink. But I'd drawn the lines clean. ISIS fighter. Confirmed hostile. .338 Lapua through the scope.
No colaterals.
But Dad? He'd sniff out weakness like blood in water. Buddy smirked, smelling my paws. Drop it. Or it leaks. Your shiny ceremony? Tarnished. I twisted free, elbow catching his gut. He wheezed.
Doubling.
Warn him. Buddy. Tuesday. Or the dirt flies both ways. Back at base. I hit the secure line to Ellis. Major. Background on a civilian, Klein. Bernard. Linked to my father. Ellis grunted assent. By midnight, Buddy's sheet pinged back. DEA watch list. Opioid mills in Appalachia. Mom's pills? Not suicide, overdose cluster. 6 in the county last year. The knot tightened. Dad hadn't just framed me. He'd poisoned her slow, pawning scripts for cash. My hands shook as I drafted the email to the reporter, CCing Jag. Addendum, Harlan Sr. Ties to prescription fraud ring. Widow's death suspicious. Sleep came in fits. Dreams of salutes turning to accusations. Monday dawned with rain lashing the quad. PT soaked and savage. My platoon kids half my age. calling me Gunny with that mix of awe and pity, circled up for morale talk. Heard about your old man. Sarge. PFC Ruiz ventured. Mexican-American fireplug from El Paso. That true? The scam shit. I nodded. No varnish. True as the flag. But tomorrow? We salute the uniform. Not the bloodline. They murmured assent. Fists bumping. But Ruiz lingered.
Eyes down.
My pops was a drunk. Beat the lesson in.
You.
You doing right by this.
Right.
The word mocked me. A shooting dad? Self-defense. Maybe. Exposing him? Justice. Or filicide by proxy. The courier drop hit at 0600. Full spread. Harlan legacy. Fraud. Betrayal. And a son's silver lining? Photos. Me in dress blues at Benning graduation. Dad's mugshot juxtaposed. Victim interviews. My juvie expungement petition highlighted. X exploded. Silver Star Harlan versus. Family first. Memes of dad in clown makeup saluting a boot. CNN called the PIO by 0800. Live crew inbound for the ceremony. Dad's lawyer, slick Lexington suit, texted, cease and desist. Defamation suit imminent. I replied, see you at the podium. Afternoon brought the twist I hadn't seen coming. Ramirez. Back in my hooch. Face like thunder. Your father's talking.
Sergeant.
Claims the shooting was staged for sympathy. To boost your metal push. Says you'll recant on the fraud if he drops assault. Staged. The knife fly rebounding like a ricochet. My pulse hammered. If he sold that, I'd be the villain. Ambitious grunt capping pops for clout. Platoon loyalty? Shredded. Silver Star? Revoked. Fuck him, I growled. Wires clean. MPs have the tape. Ramirez shook his head. Audio only. He says you threatened him. Payback for mom. Plays as motive.
Mom.
The lever. I paced. Boots thudding. Then it clicked. Buddy. The dirt. Check Klein. He's the mouthpiece. A quick call. And bingo, Buddy in custody. Singing like a canary on fentanyl. Dad's script ring exposed. Mom's talk screen reopened as manslaughter probe. But the damage? Dad's narrative was viral. Talking heads debating, is the son a hero or a manipulator? I crashed on my rack, staring at the ceiling cracks like fault lines. Tomorrow's ceremony, 1,400 hours. Post-theater. Full battalion. Brass from D.C. My platoon front row. Dad wheeled in under guard, his invitation, via JAG subpoena for testimony. Salutes for me.
Cuffs for him.
But as the rain drummed, doubt crept. Ruiz's question echoed. Doing right? Shooting him felt clean in the moment. A punctuation to years of mockery. Useless grunt. He'd sneered post-enlistment. At family barbecues where uncles nodded approval, but aunts whispered pity. Could have been a hustler like your old man. Every leave. The digs. Army pay?
Chump change.
I made more in a weekend. The betrayal ran marrow deep. Not just the frame, that was tactic. It was the erasure, my dreams, Mom's light. My name's synonymous with Harlan the Younger. That juvie kid. The army rebuilt me brick by brick, merit. Not manipulation. But revenge? It was tearing down his house on my foundation. Midnight brought the call. Unknown number. Dad's gravel voice. Painkillers slurring.
Tommy.
Don't do this. The ceremony. I'll confess. All of it, the scams.
Your ma. Just.
Let me stand beside you. For once.
Stand.
The word cracked something in me. Kid Tommy, 8 years old, watching Dad close deals at the VFW, wishing for that nod. But grown Tommy knew he'd stand on my grave if it profited. No, I whispered. You sit. They salute.
Click.
Line dead.
Outside.
Lightning split the sky, illuminating the silver star on my dress blues. Hung meat in the locker. Tomorrow, the world watched. Hero or heel? Hell. Maybe both. That's the Harlan way, gray as Kentucky clay. The Post Theater at Fort Knox smelled like polished brass and fresh varnish. Rows of folding chairs creaking under the weight of expectation. 1,400 hours sharp. Skies cleared to a Midwestern blue. But the air hummed electric. Like pre-storm static. My platoon filed in first. Ruiz flashing a thumbs up from the front row. His squad whispering bets on if the old man cries. Behind them, battalion brass in a phalanx of stars and eagles. Major Ellis nodding from the wings. VIPs dotted the aisle. The courier reporter. CNN camera drone hovering discreet. Even a gray-suited Fed from the AG's office. Eyes scanning for Dad. He arrived last, wheeled in by 2 MPs. Leg braced and bandaged. Face sallow under the halogens. No suit. Orange jumpsuit peeking from an ill-fitting blazer. Courtesy of the county lockup. His eyes found mine across the room. A predator's glare softened by morphine haze. I stood at attention on the stage. Dress green starched to razors. Silver star case clutched like a grenade. Heart pounding, but steady sniper breath. In through nose, out through mouth. The post commander, Colonel Vasquez, a no-nonsense Latina with ribbons from 3 tours, took the podium. Mic feedback squealing like a warning. Ladies and gentlemen, soldiers, honored guests.
Today,
We gather to recognize Staff Sergeant Thomas Harlan, whose valor in the sands of Syria exemplifies the unbreakable spirit of the American fighting man. Applause rippled. Polite thunder. My platoon hooped. Boots stomping rhythm. Vasquez droned the citation. Under withering fire, Sergeant Harlan exposed himself to intense enemy fire, evacuating a wounded comrade and neutralizing 3 hostiles. Words blurred. But the weight landed, Raqqa. The blast. The corporal screams. I'd blacked out after the shrapnel kiss. Waking to tubes and, you're a lucky son of a bitch. She pinned the star. Cool metal kissing collarbone. Then stepped back. Sergeant Harlan. The nation salutes you. The house rose, salutes snapping like whips. Hands to brows in unison. My platoon first, then battalion. Brass following suit. Even the Fed stood. Awkward but obligatory. I returned it crisp. Eyes forward, but peripheral caught Dad, slumped in his chair. Hands cuffed to the arms. Face twisting jealousy, shame. The drone caught it all. Red light winking. Then the twist. Vasquez gestured me to the mic. Sergeant, the floor is yours. A few words for the fallen. The fought for.
fallen. Mom.
The juvie ghosts. I stepped up. Throat dry as desert wind. Thank you.
Ma'am.
Colonel. Soldiers.
Pause.
Scanning faces, Ruiz beaming. Ellis, stone steady. Dad's glare like a laser. This medal. It's not for me. It's for the ones who carried me, my mother. who scrubbed floors so I could dream bigger than our holler. Who taught me right ain't always easy. Murmurs stirred. The reporter scribbled furious. And it's for the lies we bury. Thinking blood excuses, M. My father. I nodded to him. The room, pivoting like a turret, taught me hustle. But the wrong kind. Framed me as a kid.
Stole futures.
Broke a good woman till she couldn't breathe. Gasps rippled. Chairs creaking. Dad lurched forward. MPs studying. Lies. He's the crook, staged the whole. Vasquez's gavel cracked, metaphoric, but sharp. Order, Sergeant. This is your moment. I pressed on. Voice steel. Today, we salute duty, not deceit. The Army gave me a name back.
Now.
Justice does the same. I held up the envelope, yellow dots fluttering like dove wings. Feds have the rest.
Dad.
Your turn's up. Chaos erupted. Dad bellowed. MPs hauling him back as he thrashed. You ungrateful prick. I made you. The drone zoomed. CNN feed live. X lighting up. Holy shit. Live takedown at Army ceremony. Salutes forgotten. Phones out. The split second where hero meets heel. Vasquez cleared the stage. Ellis hustling me off stage to a side room reeking of coffee and crisis. Harlan. What the fuck? This was your day. My day, I echoed, sinking into a chair. Star heavy as guilt. Or his end. The door banged. Ramirez. Phone glued to ear. AG's office on line 1. Your testimony?
Gold.
Dad's deals torched. Full indictment. Fraud and manslaughter. Manslaughter. Mom's pills. Finally named. But the aftershock hit via Ruiz. Bursting in red-faced. Sarge. Outside. Reporters swarming. And your pops. He collapsed. Heart scare. They're wheeling him out.
Collapsed.
The word hollowed me. Medics swarmed Dad past the window. His face ashen. Cuffs glinting. Part of me, the kid who'd bandaged his bar fight cuts, ached to run. But the sergeant? He stood firm. Ellis clapped my shoulder.
Gruff.
You picked a side.
Son.
Now own it. Own it. As the MPs cleared the press, I slipped out back. Lighting a smoke, contraband, but fuck protocol. The Ohio rolled lazy. Barges moaning like confessions. My phone buzzed. Unknown. A text. Proud of you. Tommy. Finally free. And Mom? No, her Bible. Proverbs open on the trailer floor. I'd imagined it. Her voice in the rain. X feed scrolled in my palm. Harlan's a legend. Expose the snake.
Nah.
Air your dirty laundry on national TV? Disrespectful. Dad's a monster. But shooting him? Vigilante BS. The divide widened. Comments warring like my conscience. Night fell sticky. Barracks quiet as a held breath. Platoon left me alone. Respect. Or pity. I unpacked the duffel. Mom's Bible tumbling out. Flipped to Ecclesiastes. What has been will be again. Nothing new under the sun. Harlan cycle. Con. Cover.
Collapse.
Sleep evaded till 0200. When Ramirez called back. Dad's stable. Minor episode. But he's talking plea. Full confession. Names the ring. Including Klein. Buddy. The weasel flipped too. No doubt. And me? I asked.
Clean.
Juvies sealed yesterday. You're golden. Sergeant.
Golden.
The star glinted in the dark, but it felt like fool's pyrite. I'd won the day, salutes for me. Not him, but the cost? Mom gone. Dad broken. My name forever the guy who aired Family on Fox. Dawn PT came brutal. Rucks sagging like regrets. Ruiz jogged up. No judgment. Heard the news.
Sarge. Pop singing.
You good. Good. I lied. Pounding pavement. But inside, fractured. The ceremony replay looped in my head. Salutes snapping. Dad's face crumpling. Controversial? Hell yes. Talk radio already splitting. Patriotic truth-telling versus Oedipal betrayal. By week's end, the feds rolled in subpoena for Dad's assets. Trailer taped off as evidence. I claimed Mom's locket from lockup. Silver chain warm as memory. Drove to the cemetery. Gravel crunching under tires. Placing it on her stone. Protected him.
Ma.
Till I couldn't. Wind whispered through pines. No answer. Back at base. Promotion packet landed. E7 Gunnery Sergeant. Jumping the line on merit. Ellis grinned. Earned it twice over. Harlan.
Twice.
Once in sand. Once in blood. But, as I signed, a letter slipped from the file. Handwritten. Jail stationery. Dad's scrawl. Tommy, you got the spotlight. But remember.
Kings fall too.
Love.
Jack.
Love. The word curdled.
Kings?
He was a jester. Crown of thorns. I burned it in the latrine's sink. Flames dancing like doubts. Months blurred. Inquiry closed. Dad plea bargained to 15 to life in Eddyville. White collar wing. Victims repaid from seized crypto wallets.
Me?
Rotated to brag. Airborne school. Jumping out of perfectly good planes to forget the ground. But the twist lingered. Unspoken. In Raqqa. That clean kill? Dad's intel leak via Buddy, a hypothetical from an old army contact. Probing my tours. No civvy. But the doubt? It festered. Had he tried to bury me twice? One night in Fayetteville. Beer-fueled with squad. Ruiz asked point-blank. Regrets? Sarge? The shot. The speech. I stared into the foam. Every day. And none. That's the rub. Revenge's gray heart. You win the war. But the battle scar. Salutes echo. But so do screams. And in quiet moments, I wonder if I'd let him stand beside me. Would Mom smile from wherever ghosts go? Or would she whisper, too late, Tommy? To Harlan. Fort Bragg's piney sprawl felt like absolution at first. Endless runs through the pines. Ha-ho jumps that punched the fear out of you. A platoon of jarheads who didn't give two shits about Kentucky skeletons. Gunnery Sergeant Harlan. Fresh ink on the stripes. Barking orders like I'd swallowed a DI manual. Drop and give me 20. You sorry sacks. This ain't summer camp. They laughed. Called me ghost for the shadows under my eyes. But they followed. Loyalty bought in sweat.
Not scams.
The silver star hung in my hooch. Dust-free shrine beside Mom's locket. Media faded quick. CNN moved to the next outrage. X to fresher beefs. Dad's trial made local ink. 18 years. No parole. Judge citing aggravated betrayal of trust.
Trust.
The words still rankled. Victims testified. Mrs. Hargrove dabbing tears. He took my widow's mite. His boy gave it back.
Me.
Via affidavit, didn't face him in court. Cowards out? Or mercy? Letters came sporadic, platoon mates from Knox, thanking for calling out the bullshit. A check from the victim's fund, $10K. For the Harlan who fought fair. I donated half to Mom's old church. The rest to a scholarship for holler kids. No hustles, the plaque read. Just hard roads. But Bragg's rhythm cracked me open slow. Nightmares hit harder here, Rackaridics. But now Dad's face on the hostel. Scope crosshairs trembling. I'd wake slick. .45 under pillow. Wondering if immunity covered ghosts. Buddy Klein plead out too, 5 years federal. Ratting on suppliers. His intel on my tours? Bluff. Jag confirmed. Dad's last gasp. Fishing for leverage. Ellis rotated through on inspection, pulling me for cigars on the O Club porch. Heard you're jumping DA now, he grunted, puffing blue smoke. Airborne? Trying to fly from the past. I shrugged. Zippo flicking. Pass flies with you. Major. But up there's cleaner. He eyed me. Fatherly. Rare for lifers. Your old man wrote the warden. Wants a sit down. Says it's closure. Closure. Like zipping a body bag. Tell him to write God. I'm booked. Ellis nodded. No push.
Fair.
But Harlan, that ceremony? Ballsy. Split the post 50-50. Half say you manned up, half. You dishonored the uniform. Dishonor. The accusation lingered. Fueling PT obsessions, rucks till knees screamed. Range till brass piled like regrets. Buries shipped in 2. Private first class no more. Now specialist with my rec.
Sarge.
You see the doku? Netflix bidding on your story. Doku.
Shit.
Hollywood's Vulture Hour. Producers sniffing Hillbilly Hero, Betrayal and Bullets. I laughed it off. But the offers piled. Book deals. Podcasts. True crime. The Harlan heist. Turned 'em all. Fame's just another con. And I was done playing Mark. Fall 24 brought the real gut check. Home leave. Mandatory after the promo. Kentucky called like a siren. Hollers gold with October. But laced with venom. I drove the rental Charger up I-64. Radio scanning country twang. Luke Combs crooning about daddies and daughters. Twisting the knife. Trailer gone. Bulldozed for a park. Irony. Green space on fraud's grave. Stayed at a Motel 6 in Shepherdsville. Anonymous as a ghost. First stop, cemetery. Mom's stone moss now. Locket still glinting. I knelt. Pulling weeds. Whispering updates. Got the jump wings.
Ma.
Clean record. He's locked. Singing solos. Wind through oaks. No reply. But peace? Fleeting. The VFW Hall next neutral ground. Or so I thought. Uncles and aunts scattered post-scandal. But Cousin Mikey held court at the bar. Bud heavy in hand. Tommy fucking Harlan. Silver star stud. By year around, Mikey. Dad's mini-me. 30s paunch. Same oily grin. Worked the line at Ford. Weekends flipping investments Dad schooled him in. Nah, I said. Sliding cash for my own. Keeping it straight, he leaned in. Breath corny. Heard about the shot. Balls.
Cuz.
Jack always said you were soft, juvenile pussy. Guess he was wrong.
Soft.
The word ignited old fuses. He said a lot. Most lies. Mikey barked laugh. Lies?
Shit.
That scam? Dad, your grandpappy taught him the ropes. Family trade. You ratted? That's the betrayal. Ratted. Sides again. Holler edition. Mikey wasn't wrong. Grandpa Harlan bootlegged moonshine through Prohibition. Pass the torch.
But Mom?
She broke the chain. Scrubbing for straight. Trade ends with him, I said flat. Or, it ends all of us. He waved it off, turning to darts. But his jab landed. Was I the breaker? Or just the next hustler? Selling truth for stripes? Night deepened in neon dives. Shots blurring lines. A barfly, ex-Marine. Tats faded, bought the next round after spotting my star pin. Saw the clip. Brother. That salute?
Epic.
Your pops deserve the chair. Not the wheel.
Deserved.
The word echoed as I drove weaving back. Rain slicking the road. Deserve. What did Mom deserve? A life without scripts.
Me?
A dad who didn't pimp my future. Back at Bragg. The hook yanked harder. Ramirez visited. Off books. With a file. Cold case tie-in. Your mom's OD? Linked to Klein's ring.
But.
Jack. He sourced the scripts. Knew the dosage. Manslaughter sticks.
Knew.
Not just enabled, orchestrated. To cash her checks faster. Unburdened. My stomach roiled. Trial.
Done.
20 now. Consecutive. But he wants you there, victim impact. For healing.
Healing.
Like stitching a sucking chest wound. I stared at the file photo. Dad in court. Defiant. No remorse.
No.
But doubt gnawed. What if closure was a thing? Hear him beg. See the king dethroned. Or confirm the monster. Winter ops hit, NTC rotation. Mojave dust choking the beast. We rolled in Abrams. Live fire cracking night. My gunner calling targets like poetry. Adrenaline high. But post-mission, in the tent, it crashed. Squads shared war stories. Mine stayed locked. Come on. Ghost, Ruiz prodded. MRE spoon-waving. Your old man, what did he say when you got the star?
Mocked.
But I spun it. Asked for tickets to the parade. Laughter. But hollow. Stateside again. Spring 25. The letter came certified. Eddie's warden. Dad requesting visit. Urgent. Medical. Possible remission. Remission? Cancer? The word hollowed me. Jack Harlan. Invincible con. Felled by cells? I drove to Eddyville that weekend. Kentucky's Supermax, squatting on the Cumberland like a concrete toad. Processing dragged, strip search. Pat down. The indignity of it all. They wheeled him to visitation. Glass partition fogged. His frame shrunken. Chemo balled under the fluorescence. Tubes snaked his arm. But eyes? Still sharp. Calculating. Tommy. Voice raspy. But the grin, oily survivor. You came. Brief, I said, picking up the phone. Plastic cold. Cancer. Prostate. Stage 4. 6 months, they say.
Cough. Wet.
Needed to see you. Apologize proper. Apologize. The word hung absurd. Save it for the chaplain. He leaned. Glass smudging. I was wrong. The frame. The scams, pressure. Coal country's dying. Sun. Had to provide. Provide. Mom's double shifts. My juvie cot. Provided hell. His eyes watered. Crocodile? Your ma. The pills. I didn't mean. Buddy pushed him. I just. Filled.
Filled. Lie.
The files said sourced. But I let it slide. Rage banked. Why me?
The ceremony.
Coulda confessed quiet. He chuckled. Phlegm rattle. Quiet? You'd have taken the credit.
Boy.
Always the hero. I raised you soft. Needed the push.
Soft.
Again. The mockery.
Post-star.
I gripped the receiver till knuckles whitened. Raised me to break. That's on you. Silence stretched. Then his whisper. Truth? The embezzle. I did it for you. College fund. Tucked away. But the feds closed in. Had to shift blame. Protect the future. Future. My future. Stolen. Liar. You spent it on boats. He shrugged.
Weak. Some.
But the nest egg? Real. Check the old account. First Kentucky. Under your ma's maiden. Password. Harlan King. Password. The twist uncoiled slow. A con? Or contrition? Why now? Cancer don't lie.
Tommy.
And neither do I. Anymore.
Pause.
Eyes pleading. Visit again? Before. Before. The word choked. I hung up. Buzzer buzzing me out. Legs lead. Drive back was blur. Radio off. Nest egg? I detoured to a branch in Paducah. Teller frowning at the ancient routing. Maiden name Harlan Green. Balance. Click-clack.
Ah.
$42,000. Dormant since 13. 42K. Untouched.
For me.
The frame wasn't just escape insurance. Or double dip. Blame the kid. Keep the kid's cut. I wired it to the scholarship. Anonymous. No kings. Just roads. But the doubt. Cancer real? Apology genuine? X debated my old clip anew. Harlan update. Dying dad seeks forgiveness. Hero's response? Ruiz texted you go? Yeah. Right or wrong?
Both.
That's the gray. The controversy. Revenge sated the beast, but fed new ones. Salutes faded, scars itched. And in quiet, I wondered, visit again? Or let the king fade alone? Harlan choice. Blood's curse. Summer 25 baked brag into a skillet. Air thick as chow hall slop. But the airborne life kept the devils at bay, mostly. Jump ops thrice weekly. Silk billowing like forgiveness. The drop a split second where gravity judged you equal. My platoon thrived under it, Ruiz making corporal on my push. The new cherries calling me Gunny Ghost, with grins that said we got your six. Nights. Though, that's when the envelope from Eddyville haunted. Dad's scrawl burning holes in my locker. I didn't visit. Not after the account reveal. 42 grand. Enough for UK tuition twice over. Or a house down payment. Instead, it funded 10 more scholarships, green roads, for holler kids dodging the hustle. Mom's name, her fight. Dad's nest egg, fertilizer for better roots. But his letters piled, weekly now. Warden approved. Pages yellowed and trembling. Tommy, chemo's hell. But thinking clear. Remember the fishing trip, '05? You caught the base. I let you think you did.
Proud then.
Proud now.
Proud.
The word, twisted. Evoking barbs. Grunt work for bootlickers. He'd sneered at my first leave. Uncle's chuckling over ribs. Ellis noticed the stack during a surprise inspection. Cigar paused mid-puff. Correspondence from the convict? Burn. Harlan. Or read and burn. Reading, I admitted. Sorting like intel packets. Looking for the con. He snorted. Cons don't confess. But closure? That's on you. Not him. Closure. Army speak for tie, off the bleed. I started replying short. Clinical. Received. Weather here hot. PT strong. No bait. But he bit anyway, details on the scams. Naming co-cons like a ledger. Buddy was the weak link. Pushed the scripts your ma resisted, but he wore her down. Wore down. Not sourced. Shifting blame again. Jag got copies, bolstering the manslaughter hold. But the cancer? Verified. Hospice consult pending. 6 months stretched to 4.
Doc said.
Fall brought rotation. Yucum. Ramstein for joint ops with the Krauts. Beer gardens and briefings. My German pigeon earning laughs. But jet lag dredged the dreams. Dad in the scope. Trigger pull hesitant. Woke in a sweat in the BOQ. Calling Ruiz stateside.
Gunny?
You good?
Yeah. Just.
Family static. He paused. Wise beyond years. That Doko offer? They called me too. Want the platoon view. Told him to fuck off. Your story. Your call.
Story.
Mine now. Not his. Back stateside. Thanksgiving loomed. Bragg's sad spread of turkey tetrazzini. I skipped. Drove home instead. Holler quiet. Leaves blood red. Trailer lot now a playground. Swings creaking empty. VFW hosted a vet's dinner. I went. Uniform optional but worn. Mikey there. Soberish. Clapping my back. Heard about the fund. Good shit.
Cuz.
Dad, Jack. He mentioned me in letters. Mention. Says you're clean now. Ford lifer. Mikey snorted. Drafting a Yangling. Clean as it gets. But the old con? In his blood. Yours too. The question hung. Bar noise fading.
Nah.
I hustle forward. He nodded. Rare respect. Visit him?
Before.
You know. Before. The word again. I left early. Rain starting. Wiping to the cemetery. Mom's stone wept condensation. He's dying.
Ma.
Asking forgiveness. What would you say? Thunder grumbled. No script. But her locket warmed in my palm for Tommy. Love always. Always. Even through the lies. December hit with a vengeance, snow dusting the pines. Ops grinding to holiday halt. Dad's latest letter, hospice approved. Pain managed. One request, see you. No games. Jack. No games. The con man's white flag. I booked the drive for Christmas Eve. I-65 a white-knuckle slog. Eddyville loomed gray in the flurries. Barbed wire festive with ice. Processing colder. My breath fogging as they led me to medical wing, private room. Glass swapped for curtain. Dad on the bed. Skeletal underblankets. Monitors beeping dirge. No cuffs, terminal pass. Tommy, whisper now. Eyes sunken, but locking. You came. Nodded. Chair scraping. Holiday. Figured. Why not? Nurse bustled out. leaving us in beeps and breaths. He fumbled a photo from the sheet, me, 10, gap-toothed at the river. Base dangling.
Kept this.
Through it all.
All.
The word encompassed. Scams.
Frame. Shot.
Why? Dad? The nest egg real? He coughed. Phlegm pink.
Real.
For you. After the bust. Knew I'd lose it all. Hid it. Blamed you to buy time. Thought. You'd toughen. Take over the legit side. Legit. His version gray markets? Not outright theft. Toughened wrong. His hand twitched toward mine. For tugging. Wrong? Look at you, gunnery. Jumping planes. Better than me. Better. The praise. Unbidden. Cracked the ice. Mom, eyes closed. Tears tracking. I killed her.
Slow.
Needed the cash. She the escape.
Weak. Tommy.
I'm weak. Confession. No shift. The monster named it. I gripped his hand. Bones brittle. Week ends here. We sat. Silence heavy as snow. Story spilled. His daddy's belt. Moonshine runs. The 80s coal bust that broke him first. Hustle or starve. Son. Chose wrong roads.
Roads.
Green roads echoed. I chose straight. He nodded. Fading.
Proud.
Forgive.
Forgive.
The hook's end. Army drilled it. Forgive the enemy.
Fight on.
But blood? Trying. Dawn crept gray through blinds. Nurse returned. Time up. At the door, he rasped. The ceremony. Salutes were for you.
Deserved. Deserved.
No mockery. I left. Snow falling thicker. Chest lighter but scarred. Back at Bragg. New Year's fireworks popped like suppressed rounds.
Platoon bash.
Ruiz handing a beer. Visit.
Yeah.
Right? Gray. X had moved on news scandals. But a thread lingered. Harlan update. Hero visits dying dad. Redemption arc? Comment split. Too late. Let him rot. Blood's blood, Grace wins.
Grace.
Mom's word. I jumped into 26 with it strapped on. Ops in Estonia. NATO games. My voice on the net calm as steel. Dad faded quiet. Last letter February. Thanks for coming. Road straighten. Jack. Died March. Prison hospice. Alone but confessed. Funeral? None. Cremains to the state. Unclaimed. I scattered what ashes I bought. River Bend. The fishing spot. Straight roads. Dad. But the twist? Posthumous. A package arrived April. Lawyer's seal. Will. Notarized precancer. To me, the base boat. Titled clean. And a note. Sell it. Start fresh. Sorry for the wake.
Wake.
The con. To the end. Sold it for $5K. Added to the fund. No kings. Just currents carrying on. Bragg's spring bloomed. Jumps greener. Ruiz pinned E5 on my dime. To ghost clear as sight. Sight. Through scopes.
Lies.
Self. The ceremony echo. Salutes mine.
But now.
Forgiveness shared the stage. Controversial still. X debates. Forgave too easy?
Nah. Human.
Human. That's the end game. No pure right. Just roads chosen. And mine? Forward. Straight as a drop line. Harlan no more. By summer 26. The Harlan name felt like a shed skin, itchy memory.
Not chain.
Bragg's grind suited the new me. Mastergunny track. Mentoring cherries on the finer points of freefall and fortitude. Fear's the real enemy. Maggots. Jump through it. They'd grown. But stick the LZ. Earning nods that said you belong.
Ruiz.
Now Buck Sargent. Shadowed my rotations. His El Paso drawl a counterpoint to my holler twang. Gunny. You ever think about writing that book? The real one, not the Netflix fluff.
Book.
The offers still trickled, pod saves. TEDx invites, from betrayal to badges. One soldier's revenge.
Iva vid ing off.
Words on page, too static. Life's the story, unfolding in jumps and judgments. But Kentucky tugged, subtle as tide. The Green Roads Fund hit 100K. First cohort graduating, 10 kids. Hollerbred, bound for community college or trade schools. No hustles, just hammers and hypotheses. I keynote the ceremony in Louisville, civvies. Slacks and button-down. No star on show. Roads ain't straight, I told the packed gym. Parents misty-eyed. But you pick the turns. Honor the green in you. The fight, not the fall. Applause thundered. Mikey in the back row. Clapping awkward. Post-speech. He cornered me by the punch bowl. Nice words.
Cuz.
Fund Save My Boy. Tech cert at JCTC. Jacked B. You know. Proud? The ghost word. He was. In his way. Mikey shifted. Beer gut straining. Letters? After? He wrote me too. Said you forgave. Made his peace.
Peace.
Cancer's gift. Or Khan's last play. Something like. We parted civil, no hugs.
But no barbs.
Progress. Harlan style. Fall brought Yucam again. Poland this time. Border games with the bear sniffing. Briefings on hybrid threats. My sniper quals pulling Overwatch sims. Nights in Warsaw. Pierogi and Pilsner. I'd scroll X absent. Catching Harlan legacy threads. Survivor's tales. My ceremony clip remix to trap beats. Viral villain or viral victor. Comments eternal war. Exposed family on TV. Trash. Saved widows king.
King.
Dad's echo. I muted it. Focused on the now. A cherry private. Kowalski. Polish-American kid with Shakes pre-jump. Gunny. How'd you gut the fear?
After.
Everything. Everything. Word for the shot. The speech. The sickbed grip. One breath at a time.
Kid.
And remember, ground forgives the fall. He jumped clean next dawn. Whooping over the DZ. Small wins. Stacking like brass. Stateside December. Snow dusting the pines again. Brought the curveball. Jag summons. Classified. Ramirez. Older now. Balding Grace. Met me in a SCIF that smelled like old secrets. Harlan off books. Your dad's will? That boat's sail? Traced a deposit. Offshore. Pre-plea. Looks like he skimmed victims one last con. Skimmed. The grave robber. How much? 20K. To a Cayman shell. Tied to Klein's network. Klein, out on parole. Slimy as ever. The twist uncoiled. Dad's piece.
Bait.
Hospice heart-to-heart, a ploy. Timing the will drop post-death to dodge restitution. Rage flickered. Old flame. Feds moving. Ramirez nodded. Need your sig, victim advocate. Closes the ring. I signed. Pen steady. No shot this time, paper bullet.
But the doubt?
Dad's eyes at bedside. Tears real? Or acting for the inheritance hook? Christmas Eve. I drove the river again. Ashes long scattered, but echoes loud. One last con.
Huh.
Even dying. Wind off water. No answer. Mom's locket swung.
Silver chime.
Always. New Year 27 dawned with ops tempo cranking, Africa Command, Djibouti Dust Devils, and Drone Overwatch. My team pulled rotations, spotting for spec ops in the Horn. Clean work.
No collaterals.
But the gray lingered. Every target. A shadow of Dad's schemes. Ruiz joined mid-tour. Attached for joint training. Over MREs in the TO. He cracked. Gunny. That offshore shit? You cool. Cool as sand.
Lie.
Nights. I'd trace the accounts. Klein's parole officer tipped. Feds raiding his trailer. $20K recovered. Half to victims. Justice. Incremental. But the real gut punch landed stateside spring. A letter. Not Dad's, Klein's. Forwarded from lockup. Harlan, Jack planned it. The cancer? Real. But the will? Insurance. Told me to hold the key if you bid. You didn't. Smart. But the frame 12.
Not just me.
Your ma knew. Signed off. To protect you both. Ma knew. The words detonated. Mom, complicit? In the frame? To shield us from Fed heat. Or by time for the nest. I called the church, Pastor Hale. Old as sin. Remembered her confessions. Thomas. Your mother. Burdened. Said it was necessary sin. For family.
Necessary.
The betrayal layered. Dad's con. Mom's cover. My carry. All for the Harlan legacy. Ruiz found me in the hooch. Staring at walls. Gunny, talk. Family, I muttered. Deeper rot. He sat. No pity. Then dig it out. Or it digs you.
Dig.
I did. FOIA again. Old case files. Mom's signature. Faint on a backdated transfer. She'd known. Signed to reroute funds pre-bust. Protection? Or participation? The split widened. Hero's mom. Or enabler. Ex would have feasted. Harlan matriarch. Saint or sinner. But I kept it caged. Shared only with Ellis over retirement scotch. Your call.
Son.
Expose. Or entomb. Entomb. Like her stone. Entomb. Summer ops peaked. Jump into Estonia. NATO show of force. Midair. Shoot blooming. The world tilted. Free fall as metaphor. Cutting the Harlan cords. Landed hard. Ankle twist. But grinned through the medevac. Worth it. Recovery dragged. PT hell. Pool laps and bike sprints.
Kowalski visited.
Now Lance Corporal. Gunny. The shakes?
Gone. Thanks to you.
You. I corrected. I just pointed the road. Fall 27. Promo to First Sergeant, Platoon Sergeant Supreme. My team, a well-oiled beast. Ceremony small. No brass. Just the squad saluting over beers. Ruiz toasted. To roads straight. Crooked. All ours.
Ours.
Not Harlan's. But the twist's shadow loomed. Klein's trial. Fall 28. I testified. Voice even, he enabled. But the root?
Deeper.
Cross-exam. Your mother. Sergeant? Complicit. Human. The word my shield. Jury convicted. Max time. Outside court. A widow, Hargrove, gripped my arm. You finished it.
Boy.
For all of us. Finished. The ceremony echo. Salutes final. But in quiet brag nights, doubts debated. Forgive Momsen? Dad's contrition real till the con? Right to expose. Or mercy in silence. Gray indoors. Controversial core. I jumped on. Roads forking. Choosing forward. Salutes? For the uniform. The fight, not blood. And that's the win. Hard one. 28 blurred into a rhythm of resilience. First Sergeant Harlan. King of the company street. Herding cats through NTC rotations and winter quals. The desert baked us bronze. My ankle brace a badge of stubborn. Embrace the suck. Troopers. It's what separates grunts from quitters. They'd echo it back. Ruiz leading the chant. His stripes mirroring mine. Life post-twists felt armored. Mom's complicity a scar. Not stab. Dad's con a footnote. Not headline. Green roads thrived. 20 grads now. One emailing thanks. Your fund got me to welding cert. No scams. Just sparks. Sparks. Fitting. Harlan fire. Redirected. But spring thawed old ice. Invitation to the VFW National Veteran Storytellers Panel. Louisville. Neutral turf. I prepped slides, Raqqa clips redacted. Ceremony soundbite. Skipping the shot. From holler to hero. Owning your narrative. Panel night. Hall packed with vets, nom ghosts to GWOT fresh cuts. Moderator. A silver-haired colonel. Teed me up, Sergeant Harlan. Your ceremony went viral. Controversy? Part of the valor? Controversy. The hook. I lean to the mic. Lights hot. Valor ain't clean.
Sir.
It's messy as mud. My dad, con man, broke us. I broke back. Salutes came for duty, but the speech? For truth. Murmurs rippled. A nom-vet nodding slow. Q&A ignited. Was the shooting justice or assault? Family first or country? Sides split audible, claps versus. Grumbles. Post-panel. Mikey waited in the lobby. Suit ill-fit. Tie crooked. Killed it.
Cuz.
Jacked laugh, spotlight hog.
Hog.
Old dig. He had his stage. Trial suits. Mikey deflated. Rare crack. Cancer took him quick at end. But letters. Said you were the real hustler. Legit kind. Legit.
Echo.
We grabbed wings at a dive. Awkward but thawing. Boy's good, he shared. Asks about Uncle Tommy's jumps. Uncle. The word warmed. Tell him, fear's fake. Jump anyway. Summer ops cranked. JRTC swamp crawls. My company owning the lane. Post-mission AAR. CO praising. Harlan. Your edge? It's the story.
Story.
Leaked to the brass. Whispers of DI school or S3 slot. But August dropped the bomb. Ruiz. Over chow. Face grim. Gunny. Got orders. OCS. Commission track. OCS. Officer candidate. My protege. Leaping ranks. Pride swelled. But pang. My road. Forking his.
Damn. Sergeant.
Bears on you tonight. That night. Under Bragg stars. We cracked cans. Your fault. You know, he grinned. That ceremony showed me sides ain't simple.
Sides.
The gray gospel. Pick yours careful. Officers lead from front. He nodded. Firefly lit.
Will. But you?
Ever think? Settling? After 20. My Darrows loomed 30.
Pension ripe.
Maybe. Holler calls. Fund needs a hand.
Hand.
Not hustle. Fall brought the echo. Klein appeal denied. But emotion new evidence. Mom's signature as co-signer. Media nibble. Harlan case reopens. Mother's role? X reignited. She framed her own kid? Monster. Context. Y'all, survival. Survival. I lawyered up, not for fight, but statement. My mother's choices were hers.
Flawed. Human.
End of story. Pastor Hale called Voice Creek. Thomas.
She's at peace. Don't you let entregar. Peace.
I donated her locket to the fund. Replica for me. Original auction silent. $15K raised.
Roads paved.
Winter 29. Estonia, again, Cold War games. Snow muffling the cracks. My team aced the exfil. But mid-patrol. Radio crackled. CO.
Urgent.
Harlan. Stateside ASAP. Family. Family. Mikey?
The boy?
Heart iced. Rushed back. C-17 rattling. Landing Bragg and blizzard. Hospital call Mikey. OD, pills.
Like mom.
Not dead, pump and pray, but echo deafening. I drove Hollerward. Wipers slapping. Arriving Shepherdsville ER in whiteout. Mikey pale on the gurney. Boy, little Jack. 8 clutching my leg. Uncle Tommy? Daddy's sick.
Sick.
The cycle. Docs said accidental, his stash. Depression post-layoff. But the pills? Leftover scripts. Buddy's ghost. I sat vigil. Ruiz texting support. Go time.
Gunny. Dawn.
Mikey woke. Tubes tugging.
Tommy.
Fucked up. Like him. Him.
Dad. Not you.
Road swerve. Straighten. He cried.
Ugly.
The con blood. Can't shake.
Shake.
I gripped his hand. Dad's bedside déjà vu. Then don't. Use it. Legit hustle for the kid.
Kid.
Little Jack. Asleep in the chair. My jump story fresh. Cycle break. Spring 30. Retirement loomed. Master Sergeant pin. Ceremony small. Platoon saluted. Ruiz commissioning fresh. His speech. Gunny taught Gray's okay. Choose anyway. Choose. I did. Mustang out.
Civian.
Green Roads full-time. Louisville base. Mikey rehabbed. Sober sponsor me. Boy calls weekly. Uncle. Jump stories? Stories. No more ghosts. But the final twist? Summer Fund Gala. Widow Hargrove keynoting. Harlan saved us twice. Applause. But an envelope slipped under door post-event. Anonymous. Cash. $20K crisp. Offshore skim. Recovered late. Note. From the ring's end. Roads paid.
Paid.
Dad's con. Full circle. I added it. No questions. X final thread. Harlan 10 years on, hero. Heal. Human? Debates rage. But I scroll past. Salutes were then, now. It steps forward. Gray embraced. Controversial? Always. But right? For the roads chosen. Yeah. 2030s dog days settled like a well-worn boot, comfortable, but laced with the old aches. Master Sergeant Rhett Thomas Harlan, 33 going on 60, trading camo for khakis at the Green Roads office, a converted warehouse off the Ohio in Jeffersonville. Mornings, coffee black as resolve. Afternoons, wrangling grants and grads. Budget's tight. Tommy, the board chair, ex-UK prof. Tweed elbow-patched gripped. But your story? It sells the vision. Vision.
No con.
Just concrete. Welding bays humming. Nursing sims beeping. Kids from the mudflats coding apps that don't crash economies. 25 cohorts now. Mikey among the mentors, sober 3 years. Ford foreman gig steady. Little Jack. 11. Intern summers. Uncle T. Show me the jump vid again.
Vid.
The ceremony clip. Scrubbed clean of drama. Now a fund staple salutes symbol. Not scandal. I oblige. Popcorn popping. His eyes wide. You are the hero. Right?
Hero.
Kid simple. Tried to be. Mikey chuckles from the couch. Scars faded. Your grandpops? The villain. Villain with reasons. Gray. Served neat. Evenings free. I prowl the river trails. Locket replica swinging, mom's echo. Not anchor. Date sporadically. A nurse from the fund. Sarah. Redhead with a laugh like summer thunder. Your story, she says over IPAs at the feeder. It's why I signed on. Messy real.
Real.
We hike the falls. Her hand in mine. No hustles. But nights solo. The what-ifs whisper, one more visit to dad? Mom's full truth? The frame's hidden why, a deeper debt. Perhaps. To grandpa's old moonshine rivals?
No.
Entombed. Fall brought the milestone. 10-year anniversary gala. Louisville Convention Center glitzy, under chandeliers. Grads in gowns. Donors in tuxes. Me in a suit that itched less than dress blues. NCTs, from holler hustle to higher ground. Laughter. Then my clothes. Salutes were start. This, the straight road. Standing O. Sarah beaming row 2. Post-dinner. Ruiz, now LT Ruiz. Fort Campbell Battery XO. Corners with hugs. Gunny, sir, the fund? Inspired my wife's nonprofit. Vets and trades.
Trades.
Echo. Your commission? My gray rubbed off. He grins. Salt and pepper creeping. Gray wins wars. Wins. But controversies cling. A journalist approaches. Mike Sly. Mr. Harlan. Decade on. Regrets on the ceremony? The exposure? Exposure. Old wound. Regrets?
Nah.
Debates?
Keep income.
Truth's controversial, cause it's human. He nods. Tape rolling. Clip drops next week. X reigniting. Harlan reflects. Would do it again? Split eternal. Vindicated vigilante. Toxic transparency.
Toxic.
Sarah calls it your superpower. We argue light over takeout. Her. Grace first, me grit. Balance. Brewing. Winter whispers closure. Klein dies in custody. Shank fight. Poetic. Petty end. No tears. His files? shredded. But one leaked obit note. Regrets to the Harlans. Plural. Mom's shadow lifts. Fraction. New Year 31. River frozen. I propose trailside, ring simple. Silver like the locket. Sarah yes. Tears freezing. Wedding spring. Small. Mikey best man. Ruiz efficient. Jag side hustle. Little Jack ring bearer. Vows. In gray and gold. I choose you. Choose. The word seals. Summer. Honeymoon smokies hikes. No hustles. Back. Fund expands. Satellite in Pikeville. My old holler. Groundbreaking. Dirt under nails. Pastor Hale praying. Straight paths. Even in bends.
Bends.
Dad's roads. Mom's mercy. My merges. Fall 31. Boy arrives. Owen Green Harlan. Red-faced squall. Sarah cradles. I hold. Locket passing. No kings.
Kid.
Just us.
Us.
The cycle snaps. Year spool. Owen toddles. Fund hits 500 souls served. Mikey uncles. Ruiz gods. Media fades. But echoes. Adoko finally. My cut. Roads unpaved. Balanced bios. No heroes heals. Premiere. We watch. Owen on knee. Daddy hero? Human. Bud. Human.
The end.
But the twist. Soft now. Dad's boat? I'd kept the hull.
Patched in the garage.
One dawn. Owen 3. I launch it gentle, river current carrying. No wake. Grandpa's gift, I tell him. Flawed float. He nods. Small sage. We steer better.
Steer.
Yeah. Salutes? Distant drum. Controversies? Campfire tales. Right or wrong? Both. Always. But the road? Mine. Paved in choices, dark bends lit gray. Forward forever. Happy? In the gray? Hell yes. Harlan. Redeemed.